Hello. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've seen any of my previous videos. My name is Crow, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than my past two videos. I'm going to start, and this is going to be the first edition of a series called Putting Myself, or my Sona, into fandoms that I'm in. And today's fandom is going to be Forsaken, the Roblox game with all of like the you probably know what it is. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to be adapting my Sona to be put as a character in Forsaken. It's essentially just another OC, but in a fandom that I'm in. So yay. Um well, now that I've gone through that, let's get started. I'm not gonna waste too long on intros as usual. But yeah, let's get on with the speed paint. So, I've never drawn in the Roblox like style before, so I had a little trouble with the posing. And when in doubt, you go to Pinterest to find a reference. So, that's what I did. I went to Pinterest and I looked around for references. I went through like one or two photos here. Um this is the one that I landed on uh to be sort of a reference for what I wanted the post to be modeled on. Obviously it's Roblox, so the art style is a little bit limiting, especially when it comes to like the blocky avatars. But you can see I landed on a pose here. It was actually not as hard as I thought it would be once I got there. And you can see me adding crow wings because I'm a crow. But I went about drawing this a little bit differently compared to how I usually do. I went in and I did the line art for the body first and did the line art for what I had before doing any other sketching. It was really weird. And you can see me experimenting with like eyes and like cool magic things. I did end up scrapping the eye and the glow eventually because it just didn't seem to fit the character, but it'll be there for the time being. And I did base this a lot off of a variation of my Roblox character. Uh, well, my Roblox avatar. But you can see me adding just like a few simple accessories, not anything too complicated, because it's Forsaken and things aren't supposed to be overly complicated unless you're going for that, I guess. But I added like a hat, like a wide brimmed hat, a scarf. You can see me get rid of the eye there. Some head wings, which I have on my avatar. Um, and then you can see me go in and do the line art for them, which is usually not how I do things, but I guess that was what I felt like doing here, so why not, you know? And you can see me actually using my Roblox character as a reference directly for the face because I couldn't draw the spirals correctly. You can see me experimenting with like accessories on the hat and just like trying to add a bit more detail despite it being a relatively simple character. I did settle on like a few just like little rings on the top and then like a feather. And here is where you can see me, one, color the wings, and two, write out the abilities and like active stuff that this character can do in game. Uh, I did want to base this off of a real crow, and crows like to collect things and scavenge. So I made that happen, and this character has a chance of like finding like a large chance of finding some like less effective versions of items, has a 10% chance of getting nothing and a 10% chance of being stunned for 3 seconds because of a crow trap. And then take off where you can launch with his wings. But here's where you can see me going through and putting down the base coloring for this character, as well as adding a few just like accessories across the arms and the torso. We haven't gotten to the torso part yet, but there's a bunch of like harness straps and such. Not for any particular reason, I just thought they looked cool, but and it added a bit of depth to the character that it didn't have. And here you can see me adding the chains to the hat, which I really like. It adds like a nice little contrast. And then I think around here's the time that I start shading. And it's not really that prominent nor like obvious, but it is there. And oh wait, no. Why am I talking about that? I haven't gotten there yet. Uh Now I have, but before that I was working on like detailing like the metals. But here you can see me start like adding like very subtle like highlights, shading on like the limbs, the torso, the hat and wings. And I haven't actually gotten to the wings yet, but I was doing the shading on the hat and then I got to the wings. And it really isn't a lot of shading, but it really does bring out a lot of the colors in a way that's subtle and you wouldn't really notice it normally, I don't think, but it does make a difference. And you can see me go in and like shade the scarf, add like highlights along it. And that's pretty much the character. And then I go in with the grid and add an outline around the character. You can see me struggle a bit with the formatting on it, but I mean, it really wasn't all that much. And you can see me go in and rewrite uh, my my notes because I wanted it to look a little more put together. It really wasn't all that much, but it does make me feel better about what I'm putting out. But yeah, so as I said before, like the ability you can scavenge or you could launch forward, which then you can see me add the watermark and like change the outline to gray. But yeah, that's my character. Really not too complicated. It's just my Sona as a Forsaken character or just a Roblox character in general. I did rename them to be Crow, but aside from that, really, I've got the abilities, I've got the design. That's really all I really wanted to do. I'm saying really a lot, wow. But yeah, that's the first instance of me putting my Sona into fandoms. I hope you enjoyed the video, despite it being a little shorter than my previous. But either way, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had fun. Hope I wasn't too rambly. I need to stop saying that part, but whatever. Yeah. Go ahead and like the video if you'd enjoyed it, and maybe even hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this. But, yeah. Okay. Bye. I hope you have a nice day.